JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with family and friends today. Now on to the news. Taxi driver arrested following high-speed chase with police. A taxi operator has been taken into custody after he reportedly led the police on a high-speed chase in the corporate area, during which two female passengers had to jump from the moving vehicle. The taxi reportedly placed a halfway tree to downtown Kingston Road. According to reports, one passenger jumped from the moving vehicle near the Kingston Public Hospital. The other escaped from the vehicle near Tarrant Drive. The driver reportedly rode several sidewalks in a bid to escape the police team. Police accosted the taxi driver in the Mullines Road area after a reported crash. One of the injured women was taken to a facility where she's been medically examined. JPS announced its Hurricane Beryl Relief Program. The Jamaica Public Service Company's Board of Directors has announced the Hurricane Beryl Relief Program. In a release on Tuesday, JPS Chairman and Acting President and the CEO, Damien Obiglio, said the JPS regrets the recent billing experience. The relief program includes discounts to approximately 350,000 JPS residential customers. The company will be giving a 20% discount of the bills of customers who use 150 kilowatts of electricity or less for the month. The discount will be applied to current charges and will be reflected on bills that customers will start receiving in August. Active prepaid residential customers will get a one-off $1,500 top-up electricity credit on their accounts. The utility company on Friday said some customers would receive estimated bills for the June to July period as Beryl has impacted its ability to deliver actual readings. Despite criticism from the government, parliamentary opposition, and customers, the company followed through on the notice, sending estimated bills to some customers. The JPS said, however, that most customers would receive bills based on actual meter readings. Construction worker accused of shooting his colleague remanded. 37-year-old Roy Williams, who is charged with shooting and injuring a man on a construction site in St. Catherine, was remanded until July 30 when he appeared in court on Tuesday. Williams is answering to charges of wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. It is alleged that on July 4, Williams and the complainant had a verbal disagreement on the construction site along the Linseed bypass in St. Catherine. Williams allegedly left and returned armed with a handgun. He reportedly brandished the weapon and fired shots, hitting the complainant. The complainant ran to a business place and was allegedly chased by Williams, who continued firing. The police were summoned and they arrested Williams. He was subsequently charged by the police following a question and answer session. Major crimes down 32% in St. Elizabeth, says Minto. There has been a 32% decrease in major crimes across St. Elizabeth, says head of the parish's police division, Superintendent Coolidge Minto. Superintendent Minto provided a breakdown of the crime statistics at the handover of a housing unit under the new social housing program in St. Elizabeth.
Coleridge Minto, Superintendent, the Divisional Commander for the Parish of St. Elizabeth. We're here with the Honourable Prime Minister, so I'd like to just give you a brief in terms of the division. We are now seeing, sir, an overall reduction of 32% in major crimes, and the breakdown, shootings have been down by 12%, robberies down 27%, aggravated assault down 33%, break-ins are down 52%, rape, we're at the same point we were last year, murders, we're seeing 4 more than the same period last year, but overall there's a reduction of 32%. In terms of our fatalities, sir, last year this time we had 21 fatal collisions with 23 fatalities. Now we're down to 15 fatal collisions with 17 fatalities. This, sir, we believe is attributed to the operational activities we have in the parish. Last year this time we would have written 6,202 tickets. This year we have increased that to 21,065. The operational activities across the parish continues. We now have 4 zones with zone commanders, and we have our operational support teams across each zone. That is augmented with the support from specialized operation out of Kingston that provides support, as well as our Area 3 OST across the St. Elizabeth space.
Excellent report. noted two things. One is the increase above this time last year for
For
murders,
murders
rather.
more.
What accounts for that?
We have had, sir, some of the murders attributable factors, domestic. We have also had a few that are attributed to gang-related activities. And as you know, so St. Elizabeth lies right between some of the other divisions where we have persons moving across various borders. But all the other categories of crime have been down, sir.
And I take note as well that your traffic enforcement and public order enforcement would have resulted in a reduction in fatalities, and that is also good. What is the specific plan to treat with your slight uptick in the murder numbers, and is that going to be a focus on gangs? Because I know that in this division there are a number of gangs, one of them in particular, that has caused many deaths as a result of gang warfare.
So as I indicated, sir, the support out of our strategic operations, specialized operations in this space, they have been with us since June. We were able to only end June with one murder. So far, we have had one murder for July, and with the support from area and the SO team out of Kingston, we're hoping that we'll be able to keep the figures down and to, in the coming weeks, reduce this number to below the figures for last year. So.
Well, we have some key performance indicators for the police. That's how we are operating now. And I hope that you are keeping within the targets that have been set.
Mackenzie hits back at PNP caucus regarding hurricane relief. Local Government Minister Desmond Mackenzie has hit back at accusations by the caucus of People's National Party councillors that councillors are being sidelined in the Hurricane Beryl recovery efforts. The PNP caucus has complained that emphasis has been placed on giving support to members of Parliament while it is to councillors who residents find more easily accessible and to whom they readily look for support at this time. But in a media release, Mackenzie said the government would not be drawn into any attempt to create envy or discord between MPs and councillors over resources meant for Jamaicans who have been adversely affected by the passage of the hurricane. Mackenzie noted that Prime Minister Andrew Holness has said resources are being allocated to constituencies, not to parliamentarians or other elected representatives. He said access to these resources is governed by clear accountability systems.
The Prime Minister made it clear that the relief supplies should not be done on a partisan or political basis. And what we have been doing in this hurricane is an exclusive work to include everybody. I did mention the work of the municipal corporations and the mayors and said, oh, please I am that everybody was on board. It is quite clear that the opposition is finding it difficult to be critical of the administration about our handling of the hurricane. So at least, I'm disappointed that they would want to use the question of relief supplies. Although we met and they were given specific instructions to use their own source revenues to assist in the various programs within their respective divisions. And I'm really disappointed because the comments coming out of the opposition is not reflective of all the councillors, including PNP councillors.
Man disarms, shoots cop dead before turning gun on himself. A deadly tragedy unfolded at the Halfway Tree police station in St. Andrew on Monday evening when a man was being escorted from the court nearby, grabbed a policeman's gun and shot another cop before turning the gun on himself. The dead policeman has been identified as 47-year-old Detective Sergeant Kevin Main. The man who pulled the trigger has been identified as Dion Singh, owner of Singh's Auto on Agley Park Road in St. Andrew. Singh may have also been shot by at least one of the policeman's colleagues. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang, who rushed to the scene after learning of the incident, described it as a tragic and very traumatic situation. Happening on the compound of the police station makes it a very bizarre incident, and certainly it is traumatic. It was at work. When police officers go on operations, you can wrap your head around the fact that something can happen and a police officer could get shot. But to be shot on property while conducting routine activities is very, very traumatic and bizarre. The police deserve all the support and understanding they can have. The officer was a very capable and young police in the Criminal Investigations Branch. A hardworking officer has lost his life. Chang said. Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay, who heads the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, told the media at the Halfway Tree Police Station on Monday night that the incident occurred around 5:45 p.m.
What we know is that sometime after 5, about 5:45, there was a very unfortunate incident here at the Halfway Tree Police Station. What we know as a fact is that Detective Sergeant was in the process of transporting a businessman from the court, because he was attending court on a matter, taking him to his office. Sometime during the journey from the court to his office, he attacked the Detective Sergeant. A tussle ensued. During the tussle, another police officer saw what was happening and intervened. During that process, the businessman pulled the firearm from the officer and he immediately fired a shot. Sergeant was hit and later died.
What's his sergeant?
We understand that the businessman then turned the firearm at himself. They were both taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. As it relates to the identity of the officer, we cannot officially name him at this point because our chief chaplain, along with the chaplaincy team, they are trying to make contact with the family. And the last time I spoke with him, they are not yet officially informed. So as soon as they are informed, we'll be able to give his identity afterwards. As it relates to the businessman, we can name him because the unfortunate thing is that his family was at the station at the time of the incident, and he has been identified as Dian Singh. He's a businessman that is well known, Dian Singh Auto. So that is what we are able to share at this time. And just to say that we have here a number of persons who are supporting the police officers here. It's a very unfortunate information. We have the leadership of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and we have all various stakeholders just supporting. And also our minister came to lend some support to the police officers here. So as you would be aware, it's a very emotional situation right now. You know, we all know the Detective Sergeant is 47 years old, a veteran detective in the Jamaica Constabulary Force for many years, very hardworking, and we never anticipated anything like this, so we are treating with it emotionally. Indicom was informed. We also have the Inspector General that's here because it was a shooting incident, so it warrants an investigation. So that's about what we know just now and can share.
JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.